What up, yeah? So I recently watched this video, and it was like 40-year-old men that never married, and they were talking about how they felt like they self-sabotaged, and it's the biggest regret of their life. And what stood out to me wasn't just what they said, it was the comments in the video. I mean, some people agreed, but others were like, man, the best marriage I ever had was freedom. This was the video right here. And you can see it's like little comments like this. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Yeah, and I don't think it's about beating yourself up, but I think it's about giving perspective to people coming up in the future, because you hear plenty of content on social media, passport bros, the red pill stuff. You hear plenty of that. And I just think this video was refreshing, man. It was cool to see men be vulnerable and speak on this topic. So yeah, the comment that got to me a little bit was, not that it got to me, but I just wanted to speak on it. It kind of inspired what I wanted to speak on. And that was, man, the best marriage I ever had was freedom. And like, people were in the comments, they were disagreeing, but a bunch of them were agreeing with it. And it's wild to me how people really believe that marriage and freedom can't live in the same space. To me, that mindset reminds me of, like, I'm a barber. And there are barbers who have been doing this for 30, 40 years. And I feel like they've been leading the next generation of barbers astray, to be honest, because they have this mentality, I've been cutting hair for 30, 40 years, and automatically that makes you a success story. But if we're real and we look at the results, they don't have a house, they don't have financial freedom, they barely have any investments, definitely not in the stock market, definitely no 401k, no Roth IRA, don't really get to travel much, and when they take time off, it's like it's a burden. And they're still working 50, 60 hours a week, living paycheck to paycheck, barely booked up. I mean, there's young guys that come in their first year, have built more clientele than the OGs. And a lot of times they blame it, that they're older and everybody's young, so they want a young barber. I mean, these guys still got bad credit. They never file taxes. They can't buy a house. And they show up to work every day because they have to, not because they want to. But in their mind, they think they've won. And listen, sometimes they just don't know what they don't know. But other times, it's their mentality that I've been doing this a long time, so I must be right. That attitude is dangerous. But that conviction that these guys have, a lot of younger guys, they buy into it and they're led by it. Listen, experience without growth is just repetition. And it's the same with relationships. Just because you had a bunch of them doesn't mean you learned how to love, lead, or commit. You got, the guys from Fresh and Fit podcast like Myron talking about you should have 50 bodies. You should experience women before you settle down and stuff. And I get the perspective, but just because you've had women doesn't mean you've experienced anything. Doesn't mean you've grown. It's just repetition. And repetition without any growth, without any challenge, you don't learn how to love, lead, and commit. And so here's what I believe. Marriage is not the end of your freedom. I found more freedom in marriage. Freedom from the games, the shallow situations, the fake connections. Real men who are focused and locked in, we don't really have time for side chicks or secret lives. That's not freedom. That's chaos, in my opinion. Marriage, when done right, it brings peace, structure, purpose. It's two people becoming one. It's putting God at the center. It's choosing each other daily. It's learning how to forgive, grow, and serve. It ain't perfect. It's not easy. But that's the beauty of it. And the pros outweigh the cons every time if you have the right mentality. And to anyone watching this thinking it's too late for you, it's not. There are good women out there, but most dudes are just looking in the wrong places. On Tinder, at the club, scrolling for a highlight reel that doesn't exist in real life on Instagram and TikTok. Here's what I've seen over and over. When people start working on themselves, when they heal, grow, get closer to God, that's when marriage finds them, because they're ready. Not because they were chasing it, but because they became the version of themselves who could sustain it. Fix your finances, fix your mindset, fix your health, fix your discipline, fix your relationship with God. And you'll start to attract people who are doing the same. Because this shift, it forces you to be in the same places, to be in the same environment, and to avoid the ones that aren't serving you. And so let me share this from my own life. I've been with my wife for 20 years. She was with me when I had nothing. I'm talking about broke, anxious, depressed, grinding with no promise of reward. We had Christmases where we couldn't afford gifts, vacations that set us back for months. And, that stress right there when that credit card bill, you don't even want to look, you don't even want to open up the app. Now, we just got back from Tulum, from New York City. We travel probably once a month. We take a vacation these days. And it's not even planned. It just kind of happens that way. Before this, we was insane kids. And when we travel, when we go on vacation, it's not ruined by budgeting and being conscious of our spending. You know, we do first class everything, VIP everything, dinner, shopping, luxury, and none of it would have meant anything without her. The wins hit harder when someone was with you during the losses. And the losses hurt less when somebody's there with you to take those on, because it gets challenging, especially as a man who's an entrepreneur, who's got a lot of responsibilities. And our marriage is stronger than ever because we chose to grow together. Now, I'm sharing all of this because honestly, I feel like there's not enough real examples out there. The internet is full of fake confidence, in my opinion. People clowning marriage, celebrating player lifestyles, glorifying being cold, heartless, and alone. That ain't leadership. That's fear talking, and that's brokenness, in my opinion. I used to have 400,000 young men following me to learn how to cut hair, but I'm not even behind the chair anymore. It's been years since I cut hair in the shop. And here's what I've learned. Life don't stop at haircuts. It don't stop at six figures. It don't stop at winning in business. I have a portfolio now that does about 8 figures a year in revenue, between 4 or 5 businesses. Because at the end of the day, what are you building for? What's the whole point? And it ain't fun building alone, and it ain't fun building for yourself, because it attracts the wrong things, in my opinion. It attracts shallow relationships, surface level people. And this is where you're gonna dedicate your hard work to. Look, this message is for those who want more out of life, more than money, more than likes, more than hype. I'm talking about legacy. And I get it. You know, you can't take the money with you when you die. I'm not saying don't enjoy this stuff. You should. You should enjoy the hell out of it with the people you want to enjoy it with the most. See, marriage isn't just about now. It's about your kids, your grandkids. That's generational wealth. And we clown families like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, Vanderbilts, but the truth is, someone in that family had to start it. Someone said, I'm going to break the cycle. And your great-great-grandchildren probably won't remember you. But it's not about that. It's about you and enjoying all this hard work with the people you can trust, that you love the most, that it would be the most meaningful with. I'm telling you, I'm going to value structure, discipline, faith, and family. And that's how it begins, in my opinion. Generational wealth begins that way. We say we want that, but our actions don't line up. The music we bump, the culture we follow, the people we idolize, none of it teaches us how to build something real. And a lot of those people, look how they end up. You're not going to get results blaming the system. You're not going to win being influenced by people who don't even live the life that they preach. You build something real by pouring into people who pour into you. And marriage, real marriage, brings that. If this message didn't hit for you, that's fine. No hate. Live your life. I mean, I'm going to live mine. But if it did speak to you, if you're tired of surface level relationships, fake loyalty, and shallow living, then hear me loud and clear. Marriage is worth it. Family's worth it. Legacy is worth it. None of that stuff is going to come easy. It takes work. It takes maturity. It takes becoming a man of God and becoming the man that God called you to be. It's going to take discipline, but you can start today. You can fix your mindset. You can fix your environment. You can fix your walk with God, and you'll attract something real, not just marriage, but man, the best friends you could ask for, your siblings, your relationships with your family members, man, it's going to blossom. Because if you work on yourself, it's contagious, man. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be worth it. God is good all the time. And if you build it the right way with the right foundation, you'll look back and realize it was the best decision you ever made. You don't want to be the 40-year-old guy who feels like he self-sabotaged. Just think about it. It's just, in my opinion, man, it's worth diving deeper into whether or not you truly are living the life that you want. Because unfortunately, the decisions you make today, you got to pay for when you get older. And I truly believe if you're 40, it's not too late, because the average life right now, the average age, I think, is 80 something years old here in the States. You have 40 years left in your life, man. And the last 20, you don't want to be alone and lonely, man. Good luck, guys.